Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. I really appreciate you tuning in to follow my progress down here in Florida as I try to figure out what the heck to do with these crazy fuzzy little honeybees. Today in this video, I just want to show you, maybe elaborate a little bit on what I do with frozen frames. In some of my previous inspection videos, a few of you commented on why do I pull out drone comb, or what is it that I'm looking for. I just want to explain what the drone comb is, why I pull it out, and I want to show you how I reuse some of that comb in my other hives. So check it out. Alright, so here we have a frame. I just pulled this frame out of my chest freezer, and I had this frame frozen for a reason. Now you'll see here, some of you non-beekeepers maybe won't understand, but those of you that keep bees know the difference between drones and workers. And we know that the drone cells are bigger. Well, here in my area of Florida, the bees will actually start to backfill these drone cells with nectar and pollen. And for my area, this is a problem because if the bees have 6 frames with drone comb on it, sort of like this, and the drones emerge and I leave them in the hive, the bees will continue to fill all this up with honey and nectar, and eventually they run out of space. So my management method is to pull these frames out, and what do I do with them? You'll see we have honey. And honey is always a good food source to reuse. So the honey, ideally, I'd like to feed back to my other colonies, but I don't want to save this comb, so we're gonna cut out this wax. Here's the benefit of using a foundationless frame. If this had a solid piece of plastic, it would make it a lot more hard to scrape out. But in this case, all I need to do is just run a knife up there. Now again, I have fishing string in here, so I don't want to cut my string away, but I do want to remove just this excess comb. So I'll just cut it across the bottom like this, and then I'll just kind of follow up. There's a piece of string that runs this way, so once I find that piece of string, I can kind of go up to this piece of string, follow this piece of string all the way over, kind of come on this side as well. Again, the bees will make use of whatever I give them, so I'm not worried about being perfect, but I just don't want to damage the string in the process. It did break a little bit here, but that's okay, the bees will connect it. But now you'll see this is a lot more usable. I can even remove this stuff. See, so that's more of a usable frame. When I put it into a swarm, the bees will connect this little piece here that broke, and they'll reattach that wax. So now I'm very simply just going to go put this back in my freezer. So let me show you my freezer. Okay, so before we go looking at my freezer, I figured it would be important to kind of tell you guys to don't throw away comb. It can be reused in so many different ways. So as a short note, what I do to save my comb is, again, I have a dedicated chest freezer, #1. So that's helpful. If you don't have freezer space, well, I don't know what you're gonna do. But #2, so I just use a trash bag, and inside of the trash bag, I put these comb pieces, and then I put this whole trash bag into the chest freezer, and once these pieces freeze, they're really a lot easier to break into small pieces, and then you can condense it down. I store it in a 5-gallon bucket that also sits in the chest freezer, so I'll show you that. So I got some big chunks of honeycomb here, actually. Then I'm going to leave these outside for the bees, and then all this stuff here I'll clean up. And yeah, it's a little gross. We got larvae and everything laying around. If you want to inspect the larvae for varroa mites, you can. It's a great way to assess your colony for, just an observational mite level. Usually here in Florida, if I look for mites, I'd have to look at probably 50 to 60 drone larvae to find maybe 1 or 2 mites. But anywho, And here's my dedicated chest freezer. Again, I have this inside my house, off in a little nook area. But I did buy this. I think it was a scratch and dent one, so it was discounted. You can save a pretty substantial amount of money by buying scratch and dent if you can find it. So you'll see inside it's a good amount. I have 2 more frames that are drone brood that I have to cut. So here's the bag that we have. I just set this bag right in here. And then again, once the comb pieces have frozen, I just set them in a 5-gallon bucket off here to the side, and you'll see it's really easy to shrink these pieces down. You can crush them into a powder. But this is a great way, you know, you can melt small amounts of wax if you want to make small amounts of swarm lure. Not everybody has commercial hive numbers, so if you only have a couple of colonies, save your wax. Don't throw it, don't let it lay on the ground outside. Collect it, and then over time just toss it into a freezer and save it to render. So that was all, you guys. I just wanted to tell you the reason why. Again, I pull these out of the hive. When they are surplus, the bees will just go nuts making drone frames, and then they will backfill those frames full of honey. So in my area, I reuse these frames. I will give them to other colonies and let them use for food sources. So hope that video was somewhat helpful. Hope you enjoy watching my videos. I hope you find them entertaining or useful, maybe little bits of nuggets here and there. I'm not trying to be a how-to channel. There's 1.5 million ways to do it. I don't expect anybody to follow my progress to learn how to keep bees. This is just what I'm doing here in Florida, where it never freezes, it never snows. Beekeeping season is every month of the year, and I'm just trying to do what I can do to keep up with everything. So have a great day, y'all. Hope you have fun with your bees. And don't forget, please watch my videos. Your watch time means more to me than ever to help me get my YouTube partnership. Share it with your friends, and I hope to see you on my next video. Take care.